Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at the beautiful Chanel Tweed eyeshadow. It's number 02 and it is Pourpre, which translates to purple, but they're more sort of rosy pinks and plum. This is a really pretty eyeshadow palette. Now I've already uploaded and put up videos on the other three eyeshadow palettes, and I've put them in a playlist, and that playlist is titled Chanel Tweeds 2022. But I'll put a link up for that just above here when I'm editing this video. So I've already got my foundation on. I've got the No1 de Chanel Foundation on. I've got Chanel powder on my face, Westman Atelier powder under my eyes since it isn't as drying, and I don't like a drying powder under my eyes. It's actually really beautiful. It keeps them moisturized, but it still sets down my concealer underneath. And I've done my eyebrows, and I've also got some bronzer on as well. And the bronzer is the Beiges. It's the Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream, and this is in the shade Tan Deep. So let's take a look at this palette. Again, has this beautiful sleeve on the outside. I'll just take the eyeshadow palette out and I'll hold the sleeve up closer for you to take a look. They really are gorgeous, and I know I've had a lot of comments out there how the people just love the look of these, and they really are pretty. And those of you that haven't seen before, inside each pouch is the Chanel logo as well. So these eyeshadows come in the standard Chanel packaging. They are made in Italy. They have a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening, and there is 2 grams of product. It comes with the standard, the 2 applicator sponges. I'm just going to take those out. And here is the colour story of 02 Pourpre. So as you can see from the palette, the tweed embossing, which is really, really gorgeous, is actually wearing away because I've already swatched these. The very first video that I did when I tried the eyeshadow look with the eyeshadow quad that was Couvre, I also showed all these palettes and swatched them as well. And as soon as you start swatching and using it, the beautiful tweed embossing does go away. But I will swatch these again on the back of my hand for you to take a look. I'm swatching them from left to right and top to bottom. So these are the shades, and from here across it's top to bottom and left to right. Now a couple of these are satins, and then another couple, I'm not sure whether they're satins or more of a creamy matte, but they feel beautiful going on. And you can see from the shades here that it doesn't really throw a huge amount of purple. It is more of the rosy pinks and the plums. The other thing with this eyeshadow palette is that it is more of a softer wash of colour. It doesn't really produce the same amount of pigment as, say, one of the other tweed palettes. That was the 1/4. That was the last video that I put up. That really has quite a lot of impact once you put it on. But in saying that, this is still a really beautiful palette. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 14, and I'm going to start off with this shade down here. So there's no shimmers or toppers in this palette like a couple of the others.
We got a brand new day, good love is on the way, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
I'm going to take the Sonia G, the soft shader, and I'm going to stick with the same colour. This is a really pretty shade, this one. And I'm going to run that just at my lower lash line. I will go over a little bit with the darker colour as well. But I just want to put this on first. This is a really pretty soft shade. Then I'm going to go in with the Sonia G. This is the crease one. And I'm going to go into this shade here. And I'm going to put that in my crease, just to add a bit of depth through there. And I'm also just going to take it just slightly above as well.
Dove in from high above, and if the answer's no, well then I'd like to get to know ya. And though I know these lights are blinding,
so I've now put the darkest shade here just on the outer corner on each eye. My camera decided to stop, but I just realized and restarted it again. But so what I've done is the darker corner on each outer corner, I popped some on first using the Rapid number 12 and just stamped it in each corner. And then I took my Chocohodo, this is the blend brush, and I just blended that out. So the darker shade I haven't taken up here, I've just left it on the very outer corner. And then I took my Rapid number 3 brush, and using that same dark shade, I've just put some underneath here on my lower lash line. So now we're going to go into the lightest shade here. I think this is a really pretty shade. And for that, I'm going to use the Rapid number 2. And I just want to tap that through and just towards the middle. And I think also using the same brush, same shade, I'm just going to put some just up through here as well.
'Cause I don't know what I've been told. The weather outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia. And I don't know what those men see, but I see.
Now I'm going to take the Big Hair Beauty, this is the 204, and I'm just going to stay with this shade here, and I'm going to put a little bit of this on my lower lash line as well, just through here. And then I'm just thinking what eyeliner I'll use. I keep my eyeliners in this finished Diptyque candle jar, and I've got about 4 or 5 Wayne Goss liners, and I think there's one that will go quite well with this eyeshadow. So I'm going to use the Wayne Goss eyeliner. This is in the shade Deep Amethyst. I'll do a swatch of this on the back of my hand so you can take a look. And I think this shade will be really beautiful. This has, it's quite dark, but it's not too purple, but enough to give definition on my eyelashes without being too harsh. I think this will be a really pretty shade. So I didn't put too much eyeliner on. I just did a very thin line on my upper lash line and just a very small amount through the lower lash line as well. But I really like how this eyeliner looks with this eyeshadow. I think it's really pretty. And I've just curled my lashes. So now for the mascara, I'm going to use my absolute favourite mascara. This is the Chanel Le Volume. So here is the finished eye look. And this is a really pretty eyeshadow palette. I thought this was going to throw a lot more purple, and I'm not that keen on purple eyeshadows, but there's a slight purple, more of a plum, and then you've got these beautiful rosy pinks through here, and this lighter one, it's not a topper, but I still think it lightens this part of the eye just beautifully. So now I don't know which of these palettes is my favourite. I thought when I first got them and I initially tried them out, I thought that Couvray and Brun et Rose, I thought those were probably both of my favourites. But now with the other two, the 1/4 and this one, they're just as beautiful as well. It really just depends if the colour story suits you and whether you're in the mood to wear that colour story that day. But for me, I love all 4 of them. Now for blush, I'm going to use one of the, this is a newer one from Chanel, and this is the Lip and Cheek Balm, and this is in the shade Healthy Pink. Now I've used this in a few videos recently because I only picked this up probably about, well, it was probably about 4 weeks ago now, but I really can't stop using it. It to me is just the perfect shade, and I think it's going to go beautifully with this eyeshadow as well. So I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the classic base, and just dab a bit of product on there, and this blush is just beautiful. It's a gorgeous colour. It's got the pink and it's got a hint of brown in it, and it's really just a perfect colour. I think it's a really beautiful blush.
I see you right next to me, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
And for lipstick, I'm going to use one of the newly released from Chanel. This is the Chanel Fall collection, and this is shade number 194. This is the lightest shade in the collection, and initially I wasn't able to pick up the shade, and then my SA rang me and said it was available, so it arrived the other day, and this is a really just beautiful soft shade. Now I am going to do a dedicated video on the 5 Rouge Allure lipsticks that I picked up, along with the 4 nail polishes as well. In my original 4 video I did show the 2 nail polishes that I got, but I've now picked up an extra one, and the one that I'm wearing today is one of the other 2 that I picked up. Really lovely shades. So the formula of these are just beautiful. They are rich and creamy, and they just feel very, very comfortable. And here is the final look, and altogether I just think that this is really, really pretty. I am so impressed with this Chanel Tweed collection. The eyeshadows, all of them, are just absolutely beautiful. And there have been quite a few people commenting that they're not sure which shades to get, and I can't give the answer to that. They all perform really beautifully. It just depends what type of colour story you want. If you want a neutral, natural, everyday look, then perhaps the shadows that I used in my first 2 videos, they may be more of ones that you would use every day. If you want some shades that just add a little bit more colour, then the last video with the palette 4 and then this one, I think are just absolutely gorgeous as well. This one blended beautifully, and I just adore this lighter shade through here. I think it's really gorgeous, and I love the blush, and I really love the lipstick as well. But everything that I've put on my face today I will have in the description box below, and that will be linked if you're interested in anything. But just really, really beautiful. So doing this whole Tweed collection has been an absolute delight. They are really gorgeous and just a special collection, and I have really enjoyed doing these videos. And if you're able to get your hands on it, I highly recommend that you do. It's really special, to the sleeves, to the eyeshadows themselves with the embossing. Just really, really gorgeous. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.